Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going through the best and worst tattoo TikToks I could find. Let's jump into it, starting with big old pile of turds.
Yo, tell me how he was on the train at 125th. Yo, whoever was with me on that train, yo, share this video. Y'all told you, the NTA conductor told you the crack pipe explosion, nigga. Yo, whoever was with me on that train at 125th.
This guy looks and talks exactly like you would expect him to. I am sorry. When you have a bunch of dumb face tattoos of Honda, BMW, Bentley, Mercedes, Nissan, I don't expect much from that person. I expect them to talk like a buffoon, and this guy definitely shows up for me, dude. He was here. He was like, yes, what you expect is what you get. I think it's brilliant. Hey, this guy lets you know exactly who he is without having to say a damn thing, okay? You're like, oh, let me stereotype this jabroni. Yep, speaks like a homeless person. But yes, okay, I do think it is funny that on the front of his face, he's got the Honda logo, on Nissan. These cheaper cars, side of his face, he's got the BMW. I don't actually know much about cars, but it is funny to just see a Honda. Like, Honda? That's your brand? That's the one we're gonna go with on the forehead as big as possible? Honda? What, a Civic, dude? I don't know. I don't know much about cars, but I know that that looks awful. And it's a shame, you know, this guy had a bright future once, and then he put Honda across his face, dude. Whatever, what are you gonna do? Hey, I don't know. The tattooers who did this are dicks, you know? Like, hey, everyone's got a right to do exactly what they want to do. You want to put a Honda on your forehead, I'll probably do that on you if you really ask me nicely and you got the money for it. Doesn't make me any less of a dick. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't do this tattoo. But I would, probably. I'm not much better than any of those tattooers. Or this guy at all, obviously. It's fun just to clown around and goof off. On to the next. Okay, so it says, tattoo artist poisoned me. That's a big statement. It's a big statement.
This on the whole time?
The cling film, yeah.
Have you not took it off?
Please don't touch it, it really hurts.
She kept the cling film on for days.
You told me to keep it on.
Yeah, no, but you should have took that off. I mean, I thought you would know.
You never said that I had to take it off after a day. My arm is literally about to fall off.
This is your fault.
My fault? That is
It is your
ridiculous.
You had this on the whole time?
Okay, so there's a couple things here. First off, you come into my shop filming. I actually don't know the rules behind this, but I'm gonna tell you to stop filming. Absolutely, first thing. Yeah, no, it's private property. I'd be like, hey, turn that camera off right now, or get out of my shop. I don't care what you're doing. You come in here filming me, not in a million years. It always kind of blows my mind when people allow themselves to be filmed in these types of scenarios, because I'm like, what are the rules? Let me chat GPT this. Okay, yeah, you could definitely kick someone out for filming in your studio in most places. Yeah, and that would be the first thing I'd do. I'd be like, hey, put your camera down or get out. And do not come back at all. You know, like, so weird this world we live in where we want to film everything. Like, that works when you're not in private property. And that's coming from a guy who sits in front. I'm literally sitting in front of a camera right now. I film everything. No, I don't really film a whole lot, actually. It's funny, I probably film like maybe 3 hours a week. That's a lot for most people. But yeah, you put a camera in front of my face, I'm gonna snap. Dude, I don't like it. But let's keep going.
This on the whole time?
The cling film, yeah.
Have you not took it off?
Please don't touch it, it really hurts.
She kept the cling film on for days.
You told me to keep it on.
Yeah, no, but you should have took that off. I mean, I thought you would know.
You never said that I had to take it off after a day. My arm is literally about to fall off.
This is your fault.
My fault? That is
It is your
ridiculous.
You had this on the...
That is crazy. I wish we knew the time frame of which that she kept the film on for. Like if it was like 2-3 days. Like, cause that's kind of a reaction I would expect. It looks infected now, and that's what you'd expect if it was like maybe they were on day 4, they'd never cleaned it. Oh my gosh, that'd be insane. Look, I'm not the greatest at breaking down how to take care of a tattoo afterwards. I'm just not. People ask me, I go, hey, take off the wrap. When you get home, take a shower. That's pretty much it. And I explain to them usually like, hey, go home, take a shower, keep it clean. If you want to apply Aquaphor, feel free. You could do it 2 times a day for the next 3 days. Then make sure you're applying it to fresh new skin after showers, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just like, a lot of times I'll send people out without giving them instructions. This is a scenario I might not be far from. But usually I do give them a really light, especially if I know it's their first tattoo, I'll be like, hey, this is kind of the procedure, but there's a lot of wiggle room here, you know? The aftercare process is really up to the individual. Like, I take care of my tattoos way differently than most people take care of their tattoos, and that just goes kind of for every single client. But either way, if it was their first tattoo, I'd definitely be like, hey, take that off once you get home. But there is this part of me that I got my first tattoo at one point. I got a very rough breakdown of it, and I Googled it and figured it all out during the process. Now, it is the tattooer's responsibility to break it down better than probably I do, but yeah. You know, like in my head, I'm like, oh, this client sucks for not like taking care of their tattoo in any way, like just leaving a wrap on for multiple days until it got poisoned, infected. They're definitely a dingus for filming, but the tattooer should take some responsibility if they didn't break down the thing at all. And that's kind of the way he sounds. Like he's kind of being like, I thought you would take it off. And it's like, well, you should have explained it to her better. Okay, they're both idiots. Yeah, like just breaking it down, they're both jabronis. He should have been like, hey, make sure you take off that film after a few days, take 2 showers a day. That's like literally all you have to do for aftercare. Like for the most part. I mean, some people need a different procedure because their tattoos don't heal very well, and that part is up to them to figure out. But yeah, this person like just leaving her saran wrap, like how have you been alive for, I don't know, 20 something years and you didn't think, hey, maybe I should take off this wrap after a couple days? I'm gonna assume it's a couple days because it is pretty infected. So yeah, they're both jabronis. Make sure you break it down pretty well to your clients or not. Expect this scenario. I don't really care. On to the next.
Problem is, the tattoo industry doesn't tell anybody about success because success is not built through the industry. The success is built through the individual. Like, I think that's been the biggest misconception is everybody thinks tattooing provides you with the opportunity of creative success. It does not at all. Tattooing itself is just the badge in which you get to wear. The success comes from the person who wears the badge. You know, so quit thinking the tattoo industry is here for you to make you be able to sleep well at night and hearts and unicorns and rainbows and shit. No. Success comes with challenge. It's a nightmare. You know what I mean? The bigger you get, the harder shit is. And when you're cool with that, that's when you start to find success.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. I think this is I don't understand what he's saying for the most part. But I'm gonna try and break down piece by piece kind of what he's saying a little bit. And the first part you have to start off with is when this guy talks a lot online and he's a tattooer and I'm sure he's been a tattooer for a long time. So it blows my mind when tattooers don't understand the difference between the tattoo trade and the tattoo industry. Okay. Just like let me break it down, just the verbiage, right? Tattoo industry is like the manufacturers, the needle makers, the gloves, the supply chain, all these different parts. That is the actual industry, conventions, you could say, the system in place. And the trade is the actual act of tattooing, the skill, the craft, the exchange of money through that process. So yes, it'll always trip me out when tattooers don't understand the difference between those two because it really just shows how ignorant tattooers are to business for the most part, especially from a business coach. You're like, dude, that's not the same thing. They're two different things. But knowing that information now, that trade and industry are not interchangeable, we're going to pretend like he's talking about the trade of tattooing.
About success because success is not built through the industry. The success is built through the individual. Like, I think that's been...
So he said, success isn't built through the trade of tattooing. And yes, that is true. What a dumb statement. Some people throw around words like this and you really have to be careful about whether or not you actually understand what they're saying because it's so dumb. You're like, obviously, becoming a tattooer doesn't make you skilled at tattooing, right? Someone saying you're a tattooer doesn't make you a great tattooer. You get good at tattooing by learning the skills and mastering the skills. Nothing about the industry part of this makes any sense to what he's saying at all. There's a lot of people in tattooing who become tattooers and they're like, look at me, I'm a tattooer, I'm so great. And it's like, yes, I get that they're using the term to say how good they are at a thing, but it's like, just say that part.
Biggest misconception is everybody thinks tattooing provides you with the opportunity of creative success. It does not at all. Tattooing itself is just the badge in which you get to wear. The success comes from the person who wears the badge. So quit thinking the tattoo industry is here for you to make you be able to sleep well at night and hearts and unicorns and rainbows and shit. No. Success comes with challenge. It's a nightmare.
So yeah, success is made by yourself. Like obviously, I don't think anyone needs this breakdown. He's making a mistake by using the term industry, and then he's like making a point that doesn't make any sense because of that. Now, there is a big problem I have with what he's saying, and that isn't just that he's not making sense because it doesn't make sense. But the fact of the matter is that there is an industry in tattooing. There is a tattoo industry, and they do not give a crap about tattooers or tattooing for the most part. There's a lot of small companies that I'm sure deeply care about tattooing. You got your Salt Waters, you got your Workhorse Irons, you got your Black Claws. There's a lot of businesses, Solid Ink, like a lot of these companies that actually care about tattooing on a deep fundamental level. But then there's this other side of the industry that is gobbling up as much crap as they can, and they literally don't care. All they care about is profits and making money for these people in New York who don't care about tattooing. And this is my biggest problem in tattooing today, is that there's this whole system that profits off of tattooers that never gives anything back to tattooing at all. Like, you don't know who they are. They're these boogeymen who live in your closet, who steal from you every single time you buy tattoo supplies. So yeah, it's funny how dumb that statement is, but it does make sense in kind of a lot of different layers. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes I just think like, wow, that's a tattoo business coach, and he doesn't know the difference between the tattoo industry and the tattoo trade. It's not rocket science. You just Google it. Like, people are always like, why do you hate when people say the tattoo industry? And it's like, because I'm not a part of the tattoo industry. I'm a consumer of the tattoo industry as a tattooer. And I don't like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. It's a problem I plan on solving, and I think it's a problem that needs solving because tattooing will be consumed by these industries that don't care about tattooing, and it's sad. But yeah, let's keep going.
You know what I mean? The bigger you get, the harder is. And when you're cool with that, that's when you start to find success.
I also will say, I hate when people tell you prerequisites for success. It's like the biggest scam told is that, like, in order to have success, you have to do all these things. And like, you have to get comfortable with the hard work. You have to spend money to make money. You have to, there's all these rules for success that are just simply not true. There's plenty of examples of people who did not listen. You could be angry at the trade of tattooing for not making you successful immediately and still become successful. So don't listen to that. That's garbage. Garbage. Next, tattooing all the clients you said you referred. I'm gonna jump through this one pretty quickly, but it does always make me laugh when I'm tattooing someone and they're like, oh, I referred a bunch of people to you. And you're like, they never got tattooed. No one cares. No one cares about like I mean, some people do, very rarely. You meet some guy at the gym, he goes, hey, where'd you get your tats? And you go like, oh, Miguel Torres. And they go, oh, cool, man, I love that sleeve. And the last thing that guy in the gym does is ever type Miguel Torres into his phone. It is so rare that people refer someone and they actually come get tattooed by you. It's just not, like, everyone's got their own personal style and their own personal idea of what a good looking tattoo is. And it's very rarely the same thing you got, okay? Very rarely. One of those things clients always are like, oh yeah, I met some guy at the gym, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll get tattooed by that guy, and they never come in. They never come in, okay? People are just blowing smoke up your butt, okay? They like your tattoos, maybe. They probably don't want to wear them. That's it. Next. Oh God. Black and gray sleeves starting at $2K. Tap in. This has got to be a joke. There's no way unless they're talking about 2,000 pesos, which would be about $100, no one would believe that this sleeve would ever be worth a fraction of $2,000. If this is the tattoo you're doing on the forearm, a bunch of wavy cloud looking things, you don't deserve any money from tattooing ever. And in fact, you should be paying your clients because you do crap tats, dude. You should be handing out 2K to this client for getting this awful, awful looking dove and fart clouds. This is not a phoenix rising from the smoke. This is a dove rising from turds, okay? That is rough, my guy. I'd pay you $2,000 to go back to school, okay? Get a degree in fartology. I do not care. But get out of tattooing because that looks rough.
Working in a private studio by appointment only is better than working in a street shop, and here's why. First of all, there's not that constant stopping and starting again that you have to do if somebody walks in your door to discuss getting a tattoo, making an appointment, or just asking general questions. When you have a client on your table who's paying you by the hour, it's not ideal to be stopping constantly and talking to people. And yes, some shops have front counter people, but they still manage to want to talk to a tattooer. So if you're tattooing, they're gonna want to talk to you, not the counter.
That's bad management. In my experience, my counter girls at my shop, the shop I work at in San Diego, the counter people handle stuff, dude. They get stuff done. And that's like a true like management problem. Like that's the responsibility of the tattoo shop owner to like build up their workers so that tattooers aren't getting bothered every single moment of the day. That's something that does drive me nuts. Like if I'm tattooing as a tattooer and I gotta go handle a walk-in person or talk to them in any way, I'm like, dude, the counter person's not doing their job well. Maybe they're new to the job, whatever, but they better get on that soon. The only time I will really expect a counter person to come up to me, as far as at my own shop, is when they're asking for prices. I'm like, okay, that's the time you should ask me, and so I have clarity on the whole thing.
Help. So it's distracting and it's annoying for the person who's sitting there paying you by the hour. Second of all, I hate doing mock-ins. They stress me out. I prefer to draw. I prefer to think about how I'm going to plan out the tattoo to fit with the...
I'm not gonna judge this person too harshly for not liking to do walk-ins. There's plenty of tattooers who don't like doing walk-ins. I will never understand it. Walk-ins are usually some of the easiest, most chill clients you're gonna get. Sometimes they suck. A lot of the times they suck, but still, it's easy money for the most part. And as a young tattooer, which I'm gonna assume if walk-ins are stressing you out, you're a young tattooer, you should lean into that stress because that's where the money is a lot of the time. Now, private studios, I think, are stupid for most people. Let me explain. If you're anywhere between 1 and 15 years tattooing, private studios are probably stupid, okay? They hinder your growth. They are very lonely and boring for the most part. And if you open a private studio, you get a lot of the stress of a private studio or a regular business without the payoff of a regular business, right? The best, most profitable tattoo shops in tattooing are walk-in shops that are extremely busy, and that's where the most money is. So in a private studio, get out, they're a joke. You could tattoo all your clients at a regular tattoo shop, probably making more money, okay? This is the person who I think a private studio is good for. If you've been tattooing 15, 30 years, anywhere in that time frame, you've mastered your own style, people are coming to you, you're extremely busy. If you could find a cheap lease, really low stress, private studio might be not only profitable for you as a tattooer without a lot of the stress, but also just like, it's nice to have your own space. I got a friend, his name's Aaron. He's got like a private studio-esque thing going on. Super chill, really easy. I'm sure he loves it. I'm sure the rent's low. Very nice. Open door, Austin, Texas. But also tattooers who are artists, who are fine artists, who sell paintings and stuff like that, it's probably nice to have like a scenario where you could like drop into a private studio and then also go home at the end of the day and create art some other way. For me, if I lived in America, and I didn't want to open up my own shop or have my own private studio, I would probably do something like that. I would go, do my tattoo, come home, film. You know, like, that's a good breakdown. But everyone else should be working at a walk-in shop. I told him I love UFC. He said, oh, that's cute. Have you ever heard of Conor McGregor? McGregor? What a dum-dum I am today. Oh, man. And this girl has a QR code tattoo that leads you to a fight. That's so stupid. It's just an ugly looking tattoo on your chest. I don't know why you would want that. And it says, holy effing airball. Ugh. Of all things to put on your chest, you got a QR code. What's on the menu? Stupid tattoos? Ugh, just dumb. Go home, quit. Next. Sad tattoo. Oh my God. We're talking a lot today about tattooer things. I don't know how that ended up in my world this time. But yeah, tattooer things. So it's got some sad music, some like low down music, and it's obviously trying to tell you that like anytime I say I'm a tattooer, people need to tell me their tattoo ideas or they tell me about their tattoos. And usually I'm okay with it. But a lot of times when people are like, oh, I want to get this tattoo, I'm like, dude, unless they know me, I'm always like, bro, there's like a 99% chance that you're not even gonna like my tattoos, okay? Like, shut up, okay? I'm trying to have a chill day. You're not gonna like my tattoos, dude. There's like 0 times that someone's ever been like, come up to me and been like talking about tattoos without knowing me. And then they get my Instagram and I don't see the disappointment on their face. It's like, dude, you don't like my tattoos because you're not into my tattoo style. It's all good. But don't come up to every tattooer and be like, I love tattoos. Look at my next tattoo. This is my tattoo idea. It's just play it a little cooler. Like just be like, oh, that's cool. What style do you do? Cool. Bam. I don't know. I don't know how to talk to a tattooer any more than I know how to talk to anybody else. I don't. Next, we got something good. I needed something good, a palate cleanser, so that I'm not just like this crotchety old young tattooer. I'm old and young at the same time. I'm in that middle ground. I'm like so close to being old, but yet so close to once being young, you know? And that's just a cool looking tattoo sleeve, beautiful done. I love the way that they're like presented. I like that they filled them in with colored pencil. This is good tattoo marketing, bros. I liked it. Well, who's this one done by? Aaron Caldo. Don't know where he's from. Let me find out real fast. Let's get this Aaron Caldo some love. I'm so bad at that. Usually I just like run around and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Aaron Caldo from Melbourne, Australia. What a turd, has to be halfway across the world. Very nice tattoos. I like him. Melbourne. Oh, he's at Carlisle. Okay. He's with Hal Hunter, the Hunter's House peoples. Yeah, he's great. Very nice. Like it. I enjoy it. Sick tat, bro. Of course, he's halfway across the world. How many Aussies do we got in this watching these videos? You know, be like, I'm Aussie. And then be like, what's an Aussie thing? I don't know. I always want to say, what's that one term? A budgie smuggler? Is that it? A budgie smuggler. Speedo. But that's not very Australian, I don't think. I think it's more New Zealander. But yeah, that's a budgie smuggler. For all you Americans, that's a term for Speedos. Not that we wear those. Have I ever worn a Speedo? No, I would. Rough. Oof. Watching me in a Speedo would be too sexy. Next. Now, just so you know, they're using creeds with arms wide open, and in the sunlight, I want to chop this arm off and never look at it again. I'm so bad at singing. It's terrible. I'm as good as MGK, I guess. Maybe MGK is a better musician than I, which says a lot. But okay, we got this crap. It's slop, dude. It's everything you don't want to see. It's just bad. It's just bad tattooing, and honestly, it's gonna look like a smudgy turd anyways. I have nothing good to say about it. That's it. Next. This, I do have something good to say about. Hairy steez, dude. His steez is hairier than my armpits. Very nice. Very nice. I like it. Sick. Very cool. I like when people who probably more often than not do American traditional do Japanese traditional too. Okay? That's all I've got for you. I want to remind you of things that I can't remember myself. So I'll see you in a few days.